What is going on YouTube? Jacob here, and we are back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a couple of different setups that you can use, some cheaper options as far as wands or guns for your soft wash system, how to set them up. I'm going to build a couple of them out for you. We got some that you can buy just as is off of the internet or from one of your local distributors. But before we get into that, if you would like to learn how you can land big jobs, small jobs, anything in between for your business, if you're struggling to find work right now, go check out the first link in the comment section and the description. That'll be a link to Local Domination 2, where I'm going to show you everything that you need to know on how to set up your Google page, your Google ads, everything to get your business going or to market your business in the correct way so that you are picking up most of the market in your area and getting you to the top of that Google search page. So with that being said, let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the things that you either add a quick connect to, don't need much attention, you don't have to really build it out, you just kind of buy it as is. These are a little more expensive. We sell this one for $142 as is, like this. There is a red version of this as well. It is the same exact thing as this, it's just a different color. So whichever color you prefer, they both do the same thing. What these do is, we call them a soaker gun. And the lighter you are on the trigger, it creates more of a fan pattern. And as you squeeze down on the trigger, it's supposed to create more of a stream pattern. But with the 7 gallon a minute systems, we've maxed it out trying to get that good stream out of it. And the 7 gallon a minute pumps, the electric 12 volt pumps, they just don't push enough to actually create a good stream. So this will most likely be more used on your gas systems like your AR45s or your P40s or something like that. So if you are running a 7 gallon a minute system, there are a couple different things that you can use as far as guns or wands. We've ran these with an extension on the end of them like this, which we thought in the beginning that we may get a little more reach having that extension on there, but it doesn't really change too much that we have found. And then you run the risk of actually breaking these off and different things like that, and then you got to replace them anyway. This is an 8-inch piece of threaded PVC. It's threaded on both sides, just a 1/2 inch piece of PVC. And what we like to do with these is build out an actual ball valve wand. So we'll get these ball valves, these 1/2 inch ball valves just like this. And you can find these fairly cheap. This whole setup, I think, costs to build it out if you buy everything online or from your local hardware store or Lowe's or Home Depot, if you can find them there. Then this whole thing you can build out for about 20 bucks. And I may be wrong, I may be a little off on that price, kind of depends on your area, but we get everything, even with the quick connect, for around $20. You can pick up all this and build out a soft wash wand. So this is a great option if you're trying to ball on a budget. This is a great option. And the way to do this is you just take your 8-inch or your 10-inch, whatever size PVC you want to go with in length, 1/2 inch, because it's going to tie directly into your 1/2 inch soft wash hose on the opposite end of it right there. And you're going to screw your extension or your piece of PVC in, and obviously you're going to want to Teflon this before you screw it in. So we'll go ahead and do that because we need to build one of these out anyway to put on the shelf. So we like to run this True Blue Teflon. It doesn't require as much as like the regular cheap white Teflon, and we find it holds a lot better. It doesn't fall apart as much over time as the white Teflon does. So we like to run this True Blue. Keep slipping off of there. Let's see. There we go. So you only need about 3 or 4 wraps whenever you are using that stuff. That is very good stuff. It is a little more expensive than the regular white Teflon that you would normally pick up, but we find it does work a lot better, and it is worth spending the extra money on rolls of the True Blue Teflon other than the white stuff. So once you get your PVC Tefloned up, whenever you go to screw this into your ball valve, it is just PVC, so don't put any channel locks or anything like that on it. Just make sure it's nice and tight by hand. We don't ever run any channel locks or anything on this because then you run the risk of cracking either the ball valve or the piece of PVC. So we got it Tefloned up, we got it screwed into the ball valve like so. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take one of these reducers, and basically all this is it looks just like a coupling. It's 1/2 inch on this side, and then you got a 1/4 inch end on this side. Basically just a reducer in the shape of a coupling. It looks just like a coupling that you would use to tie either 2 pipes together or something like that. So your 1/2 inch side is going to go into the other side of your PVC wand part, your PVC stick. So we'll Teflon that up. Got it Tefloned up on the opposite end of the ball valve, and like I said, same thing we did over here, 3 or 4 wraps, and then we're going to take this coupling, the 1/2 inch in, and we're going to screw it onto here. Same thing, don't want to use any channel locks or anything, we just always screw it in by hand as tight as we can with the Teflon on it. We don't want to risk cracking anything as we're putting this together. So there we go, that should be about all you need. Nice and tight, as tight as you can get it by hand without cracking or breaking anything, because then you'll be right back to the store spending either a full 20 bucks on these parts, or you may be just going to spend $5 on fuel to get back to the hardware store to pick up just a piece of 8-inch PVC if it is cracked and you don't have any extra. So this is pretty much the whole wand right here. This end is going to screw into your hose if you are running 1/2 inch. You are able to run a quick connect on this end if you would want to. You could get a 1/2 inch quick connect, screw it onto here, and then you would just get a 1/2 inch male quick connect screwed onto your hose, and then you would be able to quick connect this on and off if you wanted to run different attachments on the end of your soft wash hose. Running a regular gun like this would be a lot more feasible if it's, if you're up and down a ladder, if you're dropping your hose on the ground a lot, coming up and down a ladder, just so you don't run the risk of cracking this or breaking it off on the ladder or on the ground whenever you're dropping it. So screw your 1/2 inch male end onto your 1/2 inch side of your ball valve right here on your wand, and then you will have a female quick connect on the other side of it like that. And then you would just take a regular, so like on the end of this J-rod, that's kind of like something that you would take this piece right here, and you would, if this was 1/2 inch thread, you just screw that 1/2 inch female end onto the male end of your hose, and then you have this male plug coming off of the other end right here, and then you would just quick connect it straight on like that. And you would do the same thing coming off of your guns or whatever different attachments you wanted to be able to switch out while you're on the job, different things like that. Or if you want to just run this and you're not going to run a gun or anything other than this, you would just screw this onto the end of your 1/2 inch soft wash hose, and you'd be good to go. So before we get into that anymore, for this, to finish this up, all you're going to do is you're going to take a 1/4 inch quick connect like I have here, male threads, female quick connect side, and you're just going to screw it into this 1/4 inch side of your coupling like that. I'm not going to Teflon this one because we're going to use it for the gun in just a second. So basically you would just Teflon the male end of your 1/4 inch quick connect, screw it into the 1/4 inch side of your coupling, and then you have a quick connect right here. So you're able to run J-rods like this, and makes it very easy. So this is a fan tip we have hooked on here right now. Get that focus. There we go. So we have a fan tip on here right now, and then the other side is obviously just your stream tip. So you can switch back and forth in between a stream tip and a fan tip. That easy. If you're spraying from the ground, spraying on a roof, or if you're on the roof and there's a higher part of the roof that you can't get to, switch over to your stream tip. If you're able to walk the whole roof and fan everything, save yourself some chemical, and you're able to just switch over to the fan side of your J-rod, or the side of your J-rod that has your fan tip, and there you go. You can walk and fan the entire roof as you're going. Normally these J-rods do come with 4 spots to put tips in, like this one right here. We do like to take ours and break them in half to make them a 2-piece J-rod instead of the normal 4-piece J-rods, just because we only run 1 fan tip and 1 stream tip on our soft wash systems. So breaking them in half, you don't have 2 other spots that are in your way whenever you're trying to connect them to your quick connect, and also you're able to have a backup. You just buy 2 extra tips, and you can either keep them separate or you can go ahead and Teflon them in. Break them in half right here in the middle. We just use 2 pair of channel locks, grab each side, and we're able to, break the weld in half on these. And that way, whenever these get wore out, these male plug-ins get wore out or whatever, we have a backup J-rod if we are in the middle of a job or something like that and we start having issues with it. So that's what we like to do. If you want to run 4 different tips, 2 fan tips, 2 stream tips, 4 stream tips, 4 fan tips, whatever you want to do with them, you can. Just an option, something to think about if you've never thought about it. The reason we actually thought of that idea was when we had some tips and stuff that we went and bought. We were actually replacing our J-rod because these plug-ins got wore out. And I was trying to screw them in. I was holding the actual J-rod with a pair of channel locks, trying to screw in the tip with a smaller pair of channel locks, and it broke in half. And I was kind of aggravated at first, and then I was like, you know what? We only ever run 2 tips on these anyway, so we're gonna keep this other side for a backup, and we'll just buy 2 new tips that we can screw into there, and then we don't have to worry about going back and getting another J-rod for a while because we'll have a backup. This is a great option if you're on a budget, and especially if you have a place for this to sit on your trailer, on your truck, on your skid, whatever you may be running. If you have somewhere you can clamp it down and hold it in place to where it's not beating up against the side of your skid or your truck or your trailer and run the risk of cracking it or breaking it in half, then this is a great option. We have ran these in the past for a while until we found out about the guns. So great cheap option if you're just getting started and you treat your equipment decent, then this is a great option. So moving on, pull this out of here. Moving on to the gun. Option number 1 is the wand. Option number 2 is the ST510 gun. They do have a couple of different variants of these. We buy the gray handle ones. I think there's an orange handle one. I'm not really sure. I think the difference is maybe the pressure that you're able to run through them. But with the 7 gallon a minute, you'll never be over that pressure, and you'll never crack these because of pressure buildup. We run these on our AR-45. We've ran them for a couple years now, and I think we've ran the same one for maybe the past year or so, year and a half, and it just now started leaking on us. We're actually about to have to replace it. We may end up putting one of the soaker nozzles on. We haven't decided yet, but for now we just run these just because it's a cheaper option, and they work. They work for us. So first thing you're going to want to do is, if you buy the gun like this, a lot of times you may be able to buy these guns actually put together. It may be a little more expensive just because whoever's selling it has already built it out, done the work for you. You pretty much just screw it in or quick connect it to your hose, and then you're ready to go. But to actually build these out, you're going to need a reducer, a half inch male to 1/4 inch female reducer. And what you're gonna do is and I'm not gonna Teflon this one because we have to order some more of these guns. But what you would do is just Teflon this male side, screw it into your gun on the top part where your J-rod is gonna go, or your tip. So you have that plug or reducer right there at the top with your 1/4 inch female side coming out of the top. And then all you would do is take your 1/4 inch quick connect, screw it in to that reducer on the 1/4 inch end that you have sticking out of the top. And then this side, same thing. You can either run a 1/2 inch quick connect like we talked about with the wand, or you can just screw this gun straight onto the end of your hose like we do. We just screw this straight onto the end of our 1/2 inch soft wash hose, just to reduce the risk of stuff failing or going out. You know, if you have more quick connects, that means you're creating more fail points for the chemical to eat at something else. And the reason we run these PVC reducers on everything, you want to run all PVC you can, because chemical doesn't eat it up as much or at all compared to actually stainless. And stainless takes a while for the bleach to actually eat away at, to the point where you need a new one. It lasts a lot longer than brass. We don't run brass on anything that we have. Don't run brass on anything that we have. We did in the beginning, and we spent a whole bunch of money on brass fittings for them to go out within 2 to 3 jobs, because chemical will turn brass to almost like a paper, and they don't last at all. So anything that you're running chemical through needs to either be stainless or poly or PVC. So back to the gun, you got your quick connect screwed into the top of your reducer. And then, like I said, you can either screw this in straight to your 1/2-inch soft wash hose, or you can run a 1/2-inch quick connect out the end of this, female to your male 1/2-inch quick connect coming off of your soft wash hose. So you have that, and then you're able to just run your J-rod like we talked about off of your quick connect, and there's your gun. And then you can switch back and forth, same thing as the wand, switch back and forth between your stream and your fan tip, like that. And there you go. It's a lot easier to manage, especially if you got a bunch of hose stretched out, and it's a lot easier to keep up with. You don't have to worry about this breaking as easy as you would this if you're dragging it across a roof, or like I said, up and down a ladder a lot on a job. Then this will withstand a lot more, and it's a lot easier to manage than this is. The cool thing about this versus this is you don't have to hold the handle down on this like you do with this. Whenever you're on a job, it can get kind of tiring holding this down, having to squeeze this handle the whole time while you're washing, versus this, you're able to just turn it on and off. So that would be off, and then you can just turn it on and you just wave this. Now, what you could do is you could just run, which we have seen this in the past, we've never tried it, but you could just screw this into your 1/2-inch soft wash hose, and then 1/2-inch, or get you a reducer just like this, like we have on the gun. Screw the 1/2-inch into the other side of your actual ball valve, and then screw your quick connect in just like we have here, and run it like that. So that way you're not having to deal with the actual wand part of it. Let's see. So you'll have this, just like this, the ball valve, and then you can take this reducer that we had on the end of our gun and screw it straight into the 1/2-inch into your, or either end of your ball valve, like this. And then take your 1/4-inch quick connect, screw it into your reducer, the 1/4-inch end of your reducer, and then you'll have that, which you screw the other end into your hose, your soft wash hose, and then you can run it like this. So it is a lot less to manage other than this wand. You may sacrifice some reach doing this instead of adding this on there. It won't be much. You probably won't even notice it, because where we're from, we have a lot of wind a lot of the times whenever we are trying to spray a roof. So we don't really notice the difference. The only time that you'll ever really notice the difference in how much you're actually pushing and how far you're able to reach is whenever you do that upgrade from a 12-volt, 7 gallon a minute to like something like an AR or Cody over at Southeast Self Wash. I know his Sweet 16. I've watched some videos on that. We do have one in the shop. Watched some videos on that, and that looks like it would be a lot different than a 7 gallon a minute. We haven't tried it out yet. We hope to try it out in the future. We may even hook the one up that we have in the store and do a comparison video versus a 7 gallon a minute. Let us know if that's something you would like to see. But that's a couple different options that you have. I just wanted to make a video on some of the cheaper options that you have whenever it comes to actually building out a wand and having something for your chemical to spray out of the end, especially for you guys that are just starting out. There's some great budget options. There are different tips that you can use other than J-rods. Whenever we first started, we used to use these soap nozzles. And you used to be able to get these from like Lowe's or Home Depot. I know we used to like the Ryobi ones, which was a green soap nozzle. And basically what you do is you just twist the end of it, and you can either switch from stream or fan. The only thing with these is they do wear out fairly quickly, because the brass on the end of it does get eaten up by the chemical very quickly. So I think these, whenever we used to get them, this is just an extra one that we had or found laying around the truck that we used to use. And I think we used to buy those for around $15 or $20. I'm not even sure if you can get them anymore, but like I said, this is just an extra one that we had on the truck. We did run these whenever we first started just because it was a cheaper option than the actual J-rods. So that is an option if you are able to find these. You may be able to order them online. I'm not too sure, but it would be the same thing. And then this end is a male quick connect, so it would just quick connect straight into the female side of your 1/4 inch quick connect coming off of your wand or off of your gun. So that's just a few budget options that I wanted to show y'all that you can use, or you can step up to your more expensive stuff if you are ready to upgrade to an AR-45 or a P40 or the Sweet 16. I know that this will work great on those types of pumps. On a 7 gallon a minute pump, do not try to run this. You can if you want to. I don't recommend wasting your money on this. If you are running a 7 gallon a minute pump or a 5.5 gallon a minute pump on your soft wash system, I don't recommend going and spend $142 on this, because you will be very disappointed because it will not put out enough to actually be able to use everything that this is able to do. The cool thing about these is they do have a swivel end on them, so you don't have to worry about untangling your hoses or anything like that if you're going spinning or wherever you're at. It does swivel on this end, and this is the same thing. You just screw either your 1/2 inch quick connect or your 1/2 inch hose into that end of it right there, and you're ready to go. So the way this works is whenever you're barely on the trigger, it's a fan pattern, and then fully maxed out would be your stream tip. So the more you squeeze down on the trigger, the more of a stream tip you're going to create. And there's actually, I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but there's a little tab in there that the more you pull it, it closes up to create a tighter stream, and the less you squeeze down on the trigger, it opens up to create more of a fan pattern. So great option if you are running the AR-45 Sweet 16 or the P40 gas pumps. And like I said, they also do come in red. If you see the red one, it's no different than this one. Same exact thing, it's just a different color. And all that being said, that's a few great options for you. If you have any other options, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see about doing a build out video on those. And until next time, y'all go check out that first and second link in the comment section in the description. And as always, y'all stay happy, humble, and money hungry. Peace.